Last week saw a race-long battle of our top 3 drivers in the series, which ended in disappointment for 2 and in extreme choice for 1. With Trangrade crashing out before the midway point, it all ended in a last lap pass to win between Dudignon and victorious Olnik. The question will be what the always excitement-producing Donington Park circuit will bring for our 49 Warriors. Will it be a drive of the decade or a drive of disaster? Join us now and find out yourself as we get ready to watch round 3 of the Grand Prix Legend Series live here on the Global SimRacing channel via the iRacing eSports network. The crew gave you all these stats and storylines today will be Nick Schmeek, joining myself, Stefan Schlacher. turning knobs and pushing the buttons behind the scenes is our director Sean Rex Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Having hosted the Formula 1 European Grand Prix in '93, the Formula 1 history in real life is short for this track, as short as track length. Don't mistake this track for an easy one though, as we're now going to show you in our GSRC track guide.
Alright, we're in the GSRC Lotus 49, so let's do a lap around Donington. Coming down to Redgate, this is one of the better passing opportunities during the lap, but ideally you want to late apex this corner for the best line. Nearly every turn on this track you'll find it's tricky getting to the power without spinning the wheels due to the shorter gears. As we fly through the crater curves, you have to lift and then do your best to hold left as you approach the braking for the old hairpin. Passes can be possible, but getting the car settled in time will prove tricky. Coming out of the corner, you've got to swing back to the right under Starkey's Bridge because you need a very wide arc heading up the hill. Same thing with the approach to McLean's, where you've got to get the car as far left as you can since it feels like there's almost no grip on entry or mid-corner. The crest and the 49's lack of downforce make this a patience-trying turn. On the short blasted coppice, brake early and use a lot of curb on the inside. Then bleed onto the power slowly around the second half of the bend until you feel like the tires can take it. That brings us to Starkey Strait, which offers the only other reasonable chance to overtake into the chicane. Hold left and brake way earlier than you'd expect you'd need because the downhill entry keeps the momentum going. Really clobber that first curb and straighten out the second. Then get to the power as soon as you dare. If you kept it all together, you've now finished a lap around Donington.
Joe Peak doing what nobody can do better, talking and driving you a lap around the very tricky Donington Park national layout. Nick, we have seen quite a bit now already, but what else can you add numbers-wise?
Steph, if you threw a dart at a map of England, you'd have a good chance at hitting the infield at Donington, where you'd find us today just north of Birmingham in Leicestershire. We're using the Donington National layout, and from above, it kind of looks like an oval track with a few extra zigs and zags. Down on the track, though, like you just saw, this is going to be a fast one with sweeping corners over elevation change and just enough straightaway to make the Lotus 49 get a little extra light. These cars are known to slide through the corners, and they're going to need to use all the tarmac today as they maneuver through the 10 turns spanning nearly 2 miles, just over 3 kilometers, that are the Donington National Circuit. Steph, I don't think there's any track that isn't fun with these cars, but this combo seems like a match made in heaven.
It really does seem so, and if you really ask Lotus 49 community, most of them will say that this is one of the greatest tracks they can race their Lotus at. But now let's have a look at the nitty-gritty stats of this series. It's the championship standings, which right now in the F1 Drivers' Championship is being led by the Frenchman Michel Dudignon, but only 5 points ahead of last time's victorious Rob Olenek. Peter Mikus 13 points back. He came 4th place in that last race, with Antonio Rees 4th place, 39 points behind, and then Nicola Cochi, the Italian, 43 points behind, looking for a good run here today. Nick, how are we looking for the F2s?
Yeah, over in the F2s, we have a 1-point difference right now between David Rossi and Paul Ferrer up on the top of the board for first and second. Robert Plumley sits behind in third. The top American driver, 6 points back. He's 1 point over Brennan Cleveland, his American rival there. Alessandro Parigi, he's back in 5th place, 9 points back.
So very closely for that F2 championship. Last but not least, we also have a Nations Cup like they used to have back in the days of the Lotus 49. France right now leading that one ahead of the United States, with Slovakia in 3rd, Portugal 4th place, and Italy in 5th. These are basically just representing the F1 Drivers' Championship right now, but that could all change depending on where our top dogs finish. Nick, talking about finishing, what does it take to finish round 3?
Well, it takes a lot of finesse, but other than that, they're going to have to do that for 32 laps. They have open setups today, and this is the big kicker, incident points. You can get a lot of off tracks here, a lot of runoff room, so they're going to have to be very careful when it comes to that. 17 is going to get you a stop and go penalty. That'll be very costly. 25, it's going to boot you from the server. That'll kick you out of the race. But this is round 3 of 12, so everyone still might be a little bit conservative early in the championship standings, but we'll see how this race goes.
Well, we have most definitely not seen any conservative racing at Watkins Glen last week. Sure is one race to watch back if you haven't seen that one. But as always, you are seeing these broadcasts on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure to like and especially subscribe if you haven't done so yet. You'll know if you haven't, as the button will still be bright red just below this broadcast. Still about 3 minutes to go, Nick, but it seems like we have only a few more drivers that need to take the lap.
Yeah, it looks like 30 people have put a time up on the board so far. Very impressive. Looks like we've got about 35 people here in the whole server. But right now at the top, it's Mick Claridge with about 0.3 of a second lead over Bill Tyler. We're seeing Ove Traingrade there. Looks like he's starting his lap now. Chris Murakami. Making his way around. That chicane is going to be very tricky today. Normally they would avoid that completely through the hairpin. But on the national layout, that is what gets axed. Now we're seeing Robert Plumley. He's back in 23rd, looking to put up some extra lap here. You can see just how much slide he gets around that corner. And then on to the backstretch. This is where the car gets a little bit light over that crest. And then down into the heavy braking zone very early. Over the curbs, using all the curbs like normal with these cars. Back onto the front stretch, and Robert Plumley looking for a better time. Don't think he's going to have it there. Take a look at Paul Ferrer. He's coming through on his lap right now. Kind of straddling more towards the middle of the track. This will give you a really good perspective of just how much curb they use here. Oh, a little sideways through the chicane. That's not going to work for Paul.
And that chicane is interesting for two parts, especially because it is an extremely fast and wide chicane, but also because it actually switches names on the original, the Grand Prix layout. It's the Fogarty S, but here on the National, it's actually Roberts. So one of the few tracks that actually changes names of a chicane just because it goes into a different direction. Hideki Kovisto did cross the line there for his lap. Don't think he did actually manage to improve. As Santa Maria, he has already done his 2 laps. He's sitting on a 106.616. Only 1 lap did count for him. Yeah, as always though, before we head into our grid, a message from the Grand Prix Legends community. They would kindly like to ask you, the Lotus 49 community, for a donation into their broadcast fund. If you'd like to find out more about these donations or their broadcast fund, please have a look into the description of this broadcast. Every dollar counts. The Lotus 49 community thanks you for considering a donation, and they also thank everybody that has thus far donated into their broadcast fund. Looks like everybody has finished their runs as we switch over to the gridding phase, and whooping Mick Claridge on the return into the series. He's toppling Bill Tyler by nearly 0.3 of a second for that pole position. Michel Torino another 0.2 behind Bill Tyler in 3rd place, with Rob Olenek in 4th, Nicola Kochi 5th, Ove Traingrade, the Norwegian, only 6th place for him. Rather interesting that he is this far back right now. Kane Lasky in 7th place, with Rowan Pawlowski continuing his struggling. Only 8th place for him in qualifying. Surely he's going to be looking further up the road, with Peter Mikas 9th and Sebastian Tixier in the number 15 car rounds out your top 10 of this grid.
Directly behind them, it's going to be Fabrizio Messani behind in the 14, and next to the 17 of Alessandro Parigi, again fighting for that F2 championship. Chris Murakami and Guinness Nunez are going to be making up row number 7. 15th going to go to David Rossi, next to Michael Cook in the 13 car. Row number 9 going to go to Andrew Ang and Eric Lukel, and Thomas Torp and Ivan Diadio is going to be 19th and 20th.
21st, David Shepard with Robert Plumley in 22nd, Terry Worth 23rd, Brandon Cleveland, Hideki Visto rounds out to top 25, Colin Coker 26th, Andres Bruno 27th, Juan Santa Maria 28th, Kachil Potanegra in 29th, 30th will be Andre Hutton, Michael Morrison in 31st, Osmar Schultz 35th, actually John Sheehan 32nd, Paul Ferrer 33rd, and Robert Reynolds will be starting in 34th, as we have the green flag already displayed. Mick Clash with a good start, but a better start by Bill Tyler. He's going to have the outside though going into Redgate. Let's see if that is going to work for him. He is actually getting overtaken by Michel Didier through the inside, so this outside start really didn't work out for Bill Tyler. Lost one position. Seems like though everybody is so far able to keep it clean.
Yeah, Dudon able to slide into second place there.
Whoa!
Locks it up a little bit and onto the curb on the inside. He's going to be able to keep it going, though, as he rejoins the track. He's going to get overtaken, though. It looks like he got a slowdown penalty.
Yeah, that is a big slowdown penalty for Michel Dudon. Let's see if he's already able to have it cleared. Seems like he's going normally on the power, so he's back in 7th place now from a 2nd place that he lost there going into the old hairpin.
Nicola Kochi has made his way up into the podium as well from 5th place because of that as they head down through the chicane.
Everybody so clean so far. Let's see if they're able to keep everything together also through that chicane. Seems like it. So it is right now. Mick Cledge leading in 1st place ahead of Bill Tyler. About a second is between those two, with Nicola Kochi, the Italian driver, in 3rd place. Rob Olenek looking racy though right now for that 3rd place.
He is indeed trying to get around Kochi, trying to get that spot back from where he began. He was another one that was stuck on the outside going through turn number 1. Kochi was just able to overtake him through the inside, slip through there on these cold tires. But now as they get up to speed,
that is really wide for Nicola Kochi. That might be the seal of the deal here for Rob Olenek. Goes to the inside, opens also the door for overturning rate. So Nicola Kochi, one mistake and one turn means he has lost 2 positions. Tries to get back at least one of them. Goes to the inside of overturning rate, at least has a look. But that is not going to work for him now. He's getting a little bogged down because of that inside line. Michel Dudino right under that gearbox of the Lotus 49. Let's see if he is able to jump on that occasion. Nicola Kochi, though, tries to go into the attack there with overturning rate. Once again, loses the rear a little bit, loses it extremely. And that is going to lose him another position to the Frenchman of Michel Dudino. Michel Dudino back up into 5th.
even Kane Lasky was taking a peek there to try to get a position. He wasn't able to, though.
Overturning right.
Continued. Oh!
Really wide through the old hairpin, loses him 2 positions. Make that 3 with Kane Lasky going through as well. So he is now back into 7th place. And this is exactly what we were talking about. Donington, easy layout to look at, but really hard to race at.
Looks like that's Pavlowski that is right directly behind Train Grade now as he rejoins the track. They rejoin. That's a 5-car train right now onto the backstretch.
Being led by Nicola Kochi in 5th place right now. Goes a little bit sideways himself through Roberts there, but it doesn't really hinder him too much speed-wise. Kane Lasky goes a little bit into the ether as Overtrain Grade makes the move into Redgate. That also opens up the door right away for Roman Paslowski. He gets a slide though, so Kane Lasky only loses 1 position there. Might be able to do something down this left-hander. No, he's a little bit slow because the inside line goes a little bit wide through the old hairpin as the sun comes back out. Lots of clouds in the sky right now over this battle for 5th place.
Even Peter Mikas is going to be able to rejoin this battle. He's going to get to the inside here of Pavlowski, it looks like. Very close sliding through. Now he's going to be able to get back on the throttle. It's going to be a drag race now.
Who is going to win out in that? It seems like it's Roman Pavlowski right now heading into robots. That is though a very wide line for him. That is going to open maybe an opportunity for Peter Mikas, who once again has to go to the outside for Redgate as Mick Clench posts a new fastest lap of the race. A 1 minute 3.313, and that's a really big mistake from Roman Paslowski. He might now lose this 8th place from Peter Mikas. Mikas is on the inside. That's not really good through Hollywood. Sets him up though for an inside line for Old Hairpin, but he just can't keep the speed up here.
Yeah, great recovery there from Pavlovsky. Oh, he gets a little bit tail happy coming off the turn there, getting a little too much grass. Mikas looks like he's just going to fall back in line, though, as you can see him there at the back.
Yeah, very erratic driving right now from everybody, but that is a little bit due to the very, very tough layout that this track features. Looking back, though, at number 13, it's Chris Morikami versus Sebastian Tixier. I have been having a look at Chris Morikami, who now has a spin through Robert. That's not going to help him. I was just gonna say he must have had a mistake ready in the past 2 laps, because I have seen him already up to 9th place at one point. So Chris Morikami now back into 17th place. Let's have a look once again at that mistake. Just a little bit too fast into Robert, and around she goes.
Yeah, very close there to Tixier as he came through. Oh, I think he had to get on the brakes a little bit to avoid that, and Andrew Ng able to slip through as well. You're going to see this just heavy braking once he gets down into the chicane. Little too deep on the brakes there.
Going back up once again to P number 2. This is the battle between Bill Tyler and Michel Torino. The Frenchman, after making his mistake, has already gone past Rob Olenek. So Olenek really was able to capitalize anything from that mistake. Remember, only 5 points after the first 2 rounds between the New England driver of Rob Olenek and the Frenchman of Michel Torino.
Yeah, this is a battle that's been getting tighter and tighter. Tyler has just not been able to get away. You can see that gap continuing to close. Rob Olenek as well getting into the picture here, back and forth.
Yeah, Bill Tyler right now, most definitely the cork in the bottle. There is the mistake through Coppice. Oh, Michel Torino loses his car nearly completely. He's able to save it. What of the car control he displays there. Incredible stuff. But here comes Rob Olenek to the inside of Bill Tyler through Roberts as we go on to the replay of that mistake. Once again, Rob Olenek has been able to make that pass. We're going to keep it on the replay there. Michel Torino, look at that wheel movement from Michel Torino. There we're going to go to the Rob Olenek pass for second place. This is, by the way, kicked off quite a lot of battles right now. Just goes to the inside of Roberts, able to keep it together. And then look at that. That's already Michel Torino once again attacking Bill Tyler. He hasn't been able to pass him though. So Michel Torino still in 4th place behind Bill Tyler. But you can see there, that's Nicola Kochi, Ovid Trengrade, Kane Lasky, and Peter Miko sort of also now in that battle for second place.
Yeah, just a couple of turns hard battling, and it reels all of these drivers in. Now we've got a 5 or 6 car battle here for the podium as we see Kochi, Trengrade, and Lasky, like you said, fall in line. And it looks like Trengrade going to be trying to make a move here on Kochi.
Norway versus Italy. Norway seems to be prevailing right now. Takes a lot of inside curb there. Goes a little bit sideways in perfect over-Trengrade style. And with that, he is able to take away 5th place.
And Kane Lasky as well. Looks like he's going to be able to slip through. Well, maybe not for long.
Whoa! Looking up ahead though, right now Michel Torino looked like he's gonna try something into old hairpin onto Bill Tyler, but that didn't work for him, so Bill Tyler still in 3rd place. One thing we have to say though, the guy who likes all of this the most is most definitely our leader, Mick Kledge, who is already about 6.5 seconds ahead of 2nd place, Rob Olenek.
Yeah, he's just had flawless lap one after another. He had a couple of fastest laps as well. He's just been able to pull away and watch all of this out the back.
Meanwhile, the battles continue through the top 10 of your field right now. Bill Tyler versus Michel Torino. It's the most heated battle for that 3rd place. Michel Tennier tries to look to the inside. Bill Tyler has a little bit of a lock up there into Redgate. That might open the door for Michel Tennier. Side by side, the exit Redgate into Hollywood. That is a right-hand turn. Michel Tennier on the grass, heavily on the grass there. Bill Tyler has to avoid the French car, so he has to settle now for 4th place. This has also brought Obi Trengate into the picture.
Yeah, Tyler had a big checkup there to try to avoid contact with Duden Young, and like you said, Bill Tyler is there around the outside. Hold on to it.
Had to go around the outside there of Robert Reynolds. That is a lapped car already. He had some issues in the early laps of this race. By the way, we're already close to starting lap number 11 of this 32 lap race. So laps are ticking by fast. And this battle pack, I have to say, it is growing bigger by the turn.
Very close to making contact there. Again, Kane Lasky almost got into the back of Bill Tyler. Now Lasky's under fire from Kochi, who's back in the picture.
Now there you can see all of the cars that is going from Rob Olnik 2nd place all the way down to 9th place. Roman Pawlowski. Just a long line of cars here. As I think Kane Lasky... No, never mind. He did defend his position, rather, from Nicola Kochi. So they're still in 6th and 7th. Right now on board with Roman Pawlowski, who's looking at the rear of Peter Mikus.
Mikus is getting very close to the back of Kochi here. Now he's going to fall away a little bit. Not a great turn for him, but Kochi with a little slip up there. That'll reel him back in.
Through Coppice they go for the 11th time in this race. Nicola Kochi with a lot of wheel spin there. Has to save his car a couple of times through Coppice. Opens the door for Peter Mikus, who touches the rear of the Italian. Now also Roman Pawlowski goes through there. Peter Mikus tries to, I think, let Kochi bite. That's not going to happen. Now they're going 3 wide. And yes, indeed, Peter Mikus is letting them past. That loses him 2 positions, but he is guilt-free.
A little unintentional bump and run there in the Lotus 49s. Not what you would normally see here, but Mikus is going to let them back through like you saw. But still side by side, Pawlowski on the outside now of Kochi. Looks like that position's going to go to Pawlowski as he turns back into the inside.
And there was also a side-by-side battle up ahead, but I was with a lapped car. Nicola Kochi, and they touch! Nicola Kochi goes around. That's going to lose him a lot of positions. The Italian probably not very happy with the outcome of that battle as we go on to the replay.
Just the slightest of wheel touches through the turn. That'll do it. It hooked Kochi over to the left.
As we're starting to get a little bit of lap traffic now, Peter Mikus and Roman Pawlowski are battling it out now for that 7th place between them. Having dropped Nicola Kochi, they can only focus on themselves. As it seems like Peter Mikus gets a better run, but decides to stay behind through Hollywood. Into Crano curves they go. Next up, it's the old hairpin.
Pawlowski sliding through there just a little too much. That's going to really reel in Mikus to the back of his car. Can't quite find a lane here, though. As wide as the track is through there, it's so hard to get up side by side with another car.
Yeah, it might be wide for normal cars, but for Lotus 49s that are going a little bit sideways, it's not really that wide after all. Also, the community is suspecting that they got a sneak drop of a newer tire model from the iRacing service. So all of them have to figure out this new tire that they have most definitely gotten. Just the question is it a new tire model or just an updated version of the old one?
Good battle further back in the pack. This is back for 18th place. Hideki Koivisto, Eric Lukel was back here. We also have David Shepard and Terry Worth a little bit behind them. Really close to turn 1. Lukel trying to get around Koivisto. not able to get up alongside of him. We're going to be riding along with Hideki Koivisto here. Looking back, you can see Luke will try to pounce there up onto the curb. And a spin from Nicola Kochi.
Yeah, Kochi with another mistake. It goes from bad to worse for the Italian. This time it is after Old Hairpin through Schwann's curve, trying to get around the lap car of André Chouteau. Just a little bit of a miscommunication between those two. Unfortunate situation for the Italian there, but I wouldn't really put any blame on anyone there.
Yeah, snuck up on him so quickly, and quick reactions in this car are going to often find yourself in the grass. So Kochi gained back a few positions there. He's going to lose about 5 more after that one, but he's still got that thing pointed in the right direction.
Going back up to our battle that is starting to form for second place between our right now 3 top dogs of this series after 2 rounds is Rob Olnick leading Dudignon and Ovid Trengerade. Trengerade with a little bit of a mistake through Robert, so that's not gonna really help his cause here. But they have once again been given quite the homework after this race, with Mick Cledge just completely dominating this race now already over 9 seconds ahead of second place Olenek.
Yeah, remember, this is a second place position that Olenek was able to steal through some pretty tough battling ahead of him a handful of laps ago, and now under fire, like you said, Dudignon closing ever so slightly. Looks like about equal gaps between Dudignon and Olenek, and Dudignon and Trengrade behind him.
Also, it seems like we have lost Parisi last lap, pretty much 1 lap ago. He had a little bit of an unfortunate contact with someone spinning ahead. Too much damage for him to continue, so that is another car that is out of this race as we focus still our cameras on Rob Olenek, who has another mistake. Actually, that was contact with a lap car. That was Robert Reynolds, and the worst of all of that, Michel Dudignon.
Oh no, what? Reynolds trying to get out of the way, and he ended up on the curb, it looks like. And Olenek trying to slip through the inside. That is a huge hit. Dudignon, not as much contact. That also made Trengrade go through the grass on the outside.
Robbo, very, very damaged from all of that, but yeah, I'm not sure what Robert Reynolds really wanted to do there. Michel Dudignon now crashes through Schwann's curve, actually through Starkey's bridge. There you can see his car. That's all kicking off because of the damage from the contact with Robert Reynolds. Going through Old Hairpin here, he's going to get a little bit sideways right around here. That was because of Robert Reynolds yet again. So 2 top drivers out of this race. How is Ovid Trengerade doing? He is continuing. There we saw Mick Cledge, who's leading. Ovid Trengerade is in 4th place. He just overtook Rob Olenek, who's still going round. I wonder if he actually has a black flag, because it seems like he doesn't right now, or just tries to drive all of the laps he has until he is forced to pit.
And on the last lap, Kane Lasky, that he was promoted up to 2nd, but he actually got passed by Bill Tyler for that position. So that's how the podium sorts out right now. Of course, Mick Claridge still leading, but Bill Tyler 2nd and Kane Lasky back in 3rd.
Yeah, another mistake from Ovid Trengerade, as we were able to see there going up to that 2nd place battle yet again. Bill Tyler, not the fastest in the top 5 that we have seen right now, but he is mistake-free, keeps his car clean, and thus he finds himself yet again in 2nd place. Kane Lasky hasn't raced this car in quite a bit. He is returning to the series, though, as we can see, and what a return it is for him as well. He started in 7th place, made his way up into 3rd. That's +4 net gain for him right now. Maybe, though, he's able to make that a +5.
He wasn't able to hold on to the second place that was given to him, but Bill Tyler's so quick here, especially through all of that chaos. That car ahead of them is Colin Coker, lap traffic. Hopefully no problem for them.
Let's see, Colin Coker on the left side of the track stays there, is a little bit slow, so lets these guys pass before the braking zone, so no issues for them. And Lasky has to brake a little bit to the middle of the track, but that's not too much of a problem for him. Makes the chicane perfectly and thus stays right tucked in that slipstream of Bill Tyler. Looking back, 10 positions further down the road, it's P number 12 that's being fought out. This one is between Andrew Egg, Chris Morikami, and Sebastian Tixier.
Murakami got a good run through there as well. Not good enough to get side by side, but heading down into the final turn. Deep on the brakes. He's going to get a good run off of there as well, it looks like.
Yeah, very good run. Sebastian Tixier, we have to say, he lost 2 positions to these guys in this lap. Chris Morikami tries to go up into 12th place himself now. There's also now Sebastian Tixier with quite a braking performance there. Peak performance by him, as Andrew Egg has to lose out now 2 positions himself. Finds himself in 14th just after 2 turns completed.
Eng is going to be fighting back, though. I think Tixier had a little bit of a slide through there.
Let's see, going through the right-hander of McLean's right now. Sebastian Tixier with a better line. Here now comes Nicola Kochi out of the wild. He appears, and that's a mistake for Andrew Eng. Goes super wide through Coppes, opens up the door for the Italian, who tries to make his recovery drive, I think. That is going to give him position number 14, or is Andrew Eng trying to fight back? Yes, he's on the brake. Much better performance, but with the inside line of Kochi, he's not able to take that position back.
This is the 3rd time Nicola Kochi's had to fight up through the field in this race, but he gets past Eng, and now I think Tixier and Murakami, quite possibly within the next just couple of laps, he's going to be able to get them as well.
Quick report on Rob Olenek. He has needed to retire because he has actually had a meatball there. Just did squeeze out all the laps that he was able to drive. 8 minutes repair for him, so that is his race most definitely done right now. Looking back though from Chris Morikami to Sebastian Tixier, let's see what they are able to do. Maybe the Frenchman tries to set up Coppes for that exit into Roberts.
Looks like that's exactly what he's doing, but a little bit wide.
And it seems also we have a battle for second place, third place right now between Ove Terengrid and Kane Lasky. Kane Lasky actually lost out in that battle already, so Ove Terengrid up to 3rd place. We're going to show you the replay of that pass because it was quite the move.
Side by side for a very long time. It started all the way here. This isn't going to get completed for quite a while. You can see them there through the first turn.
Through Redgate, side by side, Ove Terengrid with the outside line. Still side by side through Hollywood they are. And now only through Craner Curves and Old Hairpin. Ove Terengrid able to get up on that battle. So Ove Terengrid now in 3rd place, but Kane Lasky looking very racy, as he made now, sadly, himself a mistake through Roberts. So he has sadly dropped back quite a bit. Bill Tyler, though, he is only 2.5 seconds ahead of Ove Terengrid. So with the 10 laps we still have to go, I would say that Bill Tyler is not yet safe. Safe, though, at least from an interval standpoint. Mikkelaj most definitely is leading by 15.3 seconds ahead of Bill Tyler. His race has gone most definitely to plan.
I think the next closest battle behind them is for 5th place. Pawlowski trying to defend Peter Mikus, who has closed in on him. We'll ride along with Mikus here. See if he gets a big run. Trying to get in a little bit of tow there.
Not the first time we have focused on these two for a battle for that 5th place, and they're still going at it. They have never not battled for this 5th place after the big kerfuffle we have seen at them about 5 laps ago or so. As a lap car ahead of them spins that Sean Sheehan, he's not going to re-enter a track there with that spin, so they are still unhindered in this battle.
Yeah, Mikus has been there for, like you said, quite a bit of this race, and he is definitely quick around here, but can't quite seal the deal. Looks like he's pretty content just riding behind Pawlowski right now.
Just a short update, don't need to go there. The battle for 2nd place is closing. Last lap, Overtrain gained a 10th on, sorry, that's 8/10 on Bill Tyler. So they're most definitely closing, as Andres Bruno and Robert Reynolds are going to be led by Roman Pawlowski and Peter Mikus just about now. So that's not going to open up a door for Peter Mikus. Maybe out of the turn, he has a little bit of a slide that he has to catch, so that is a little bit of momentum lost for him, though he is very close into Redgate, but he has to brake a little bit earlier than Roman Pawlowski. So once again, Peter Mikus has to stay behind and make his passing work harder.
He might be able to set up a good run down into Old Hairpin, but it looks like he might be too far back now. You really got to nail Redgate if you want to make anything happen in the next couple of turns.
It seems like Redgate and Old Hairpin aren't the most favorable corners for Peter Mikus. So he's making a big mistake. That's going to open up that battle now. So Peter Mikus drops back with this mistake you're going to see in just one turn going through Schwann's curve. Right now, and then just a little bit sideways, as you can see, has to turn a little bit more than he normally wants to, and loses the car on the brake. Great save from Peter Mikus, but it obviously opens up the gap to Roman Pawlowski. The gap, though, in the battle for 2nd place is to pretty much 0, with Bill Tyler now being shadowed by Overtrain.
Yeah, after Traingrade got around Lasky for 3rd, we wondered how long it would take him to catch Bill Tyler. Well, here he is. That's your answer. Now, can he get around him? He's got him right side by, or not quite side by side, but he's trying to get side by side with him now.
Yeah, last lap by Overtrain was his personal fastest lap at 1 minute 3.330. Only about a 10th away from the lap record right now in this race, still held by Mick Klatch, 1 minute 3.242 for him. So Overtrain most definitely one of the quickest guys out there right now, as they get bogged down a little bit there by Brandon Cleveland. 18th place for him right now, not a bad race for Cleveland, but just shows the nature of this track. Really slow race for him right now compared to these guys.
Yeah, still a relatively small track, just over 3 kilometers. A lot of lap traffic here is to be expected, especially with 6 laps to go. We ride along with Tyler here, looking behind him, see if Traingrade can close in at all. It looks like Tyler is getting quite a bit better runs out of a lot of these turns. That's going to be critical for him in defending this position.
Let's see, Overtrain with the wider entry into McLean's, but that doesn't really give him an opportunity into Coppice. Let's see how they fare through this turn. Bill Tyler very much to the inside, doesn't want to open the door for Overtrain, but he's really close going down Starkey Strait. Goes to the inside for Roberts, decides better off it though. Seems like Bill Tyler is stronger on the brake pedal, but a great exit for Overtrain. This might seal the deal. Wheatcroft Strait it is, and once again Overtrain goes to the inside. This time he's better on the brakes into Redgate, gets the apex as well, has a little bit of a slide though, but Bill Tyler isn't able to really jump on that opportunity. Seems like Tyler has overused his tires a little bit.
Yeah, I was wondering if Tyler was going to be able to hit his late apex there and cross him over, but like you said, I agree. I think his tires, I think he's used up the equipment a little bit too much because he's not able to get him back. It looks like Traingrade might just sail away with this 2nd place.
Yeah, let's see if this is really happening as there's a train of cars up ahead, a few lap cars, and that's actually also a battle between David Shepard and Robert Plumley for 16th place. As also Peter Mikus is really close behind Roman Paslowski.
He is all over him. Will he finally get around him?
Whoa!
We've been watching this for about a dozen laps.
Oh, Peter Mikus really aggressive right now in this battle, and Roman Paslowski goes to the left side. Interesting.
Must have been a little bump draft that scared him out of the way, or maybe just not wanting to get involved in that right now.
I don't know, this does look a little bit weird already through Starkey Strait. I don't know what is happening to Roman Paslowski, but he's most definitely not fast right now. As we take a look back to the Italian of Nicola Cocci right now in 9th place, making to look that at 8th place, sorry. Oh no, wait. They have switched positions this lap. My bad, Cocci did overtake Thomas Torp, so Cocci now into 9th place.
Heck of a drive for Nicola Cocci. He's gone off, what, twice now, and he's back up here in 8th? 9th, rather.
9th place, yeah, he is only 4 positions down right now on his starting position, so it is a great recovery drive after the 2 spins we have seen from him. Going back up to a leader, though, once again, he is not too far behind Nicola Cocci on the track. He is, though, 20 seconds ahead of Ovid Terengre, a commanding lead for a very, very experienced driver in the Lotus 49.
One of those drives, and sometimes you have it, especially when you have veteran racers like Mick Claridge, where you just get faster and faster every single lap. You open up that gap, and I'm sure that battling between 2nd place has helped quite a bit. And Kane Lasky is in trouble.
That is the old hairpin that got caught out, or did call out Kane Lasky there. Let's see what happened. That is just
all by himself.
Yeah, an interesting mistake. You don't see that mistake very often, do you?
Not really, especially not this part of the race. You wouldn't think. A little bit of just oversteer coming off the corner, it looks like.
Actually, on second look, that is actually a mistake that happened into the turn. Just a little bit too much on the brake, it seems, and thus spun it around. So seems like Kane Lasky really not accustomed yet to his car, as we're looking back into the battle for P8. Michael Cook right now against Nicola Cocci, so he's trying to make that an 8th place now, Nicola Cocci. He is fighting against the guy that has gone up from 16th place into that 8th place, so he's most definitely not trying to get back there quite fast, and that is nearly a big mistake by Nicola Cocci, though he goes to the inside once again. They touch! Wow! They lock wheels but keep everything straight. How did that work? Doesn't matter. Nicola Cocci gets away with an 8th place, has already set sail, and is looking up to that 7th place.
Unbelievable luck there for Nicola Cocci, but let's go back to our leader here on the final lap. Mick Claridge, you just can't say enough about him. What a drive Claridge has had today.
Yeah, obviously the new tire model that these cars received has shaking up things a little bit, as Mick Claridge, a little bit of a style show there for him. 10 out of 10 points for the slides through Schwann's Curve and McLean's.
He just wanted to burn up the tires just like everyone else a little bit more.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to even up the field a little bit on the tire wear. Mick Claridge, though, comes down Starkey Strait for the very last time into Roberts. Just one more braking zone, and he completely misses out on that. That's the first mistake from him, probably all race long. Has to take a little bit of a shortcut, also a slowdown for him. But that means still he's gonna win with a commanding lead. Mick Claridge, give it up for the winner of round number 3 from Donington Park National Circuit.
Going to take quite a while for everyone else to file back through and finish their races. Tringrade comes across second, Bill Tyler behind him in third.
Nico is going to take home a 4th place finish here today, starting from 9th place. Quite a drive with Roman Paslowski, also gaining 3 positions up into 5th place. Fabrizio Maisani, he is going to finish in 6th place after an 11th place start. And Nicola Cochi actually managed to get up into 7th place, so only 2 positions lost for the Italian. He still has to be quite happy with this drive, though the what-ifs remain. Actually, he finished in 6th place. Someone seems to have had a mistake. Actually, Fabrizio Maisani, he is dropping down the order, so something happened to him on that last lap. But yeah, as the last few cars are trickling over the start-finish line, we're gonna step away for just a few moments to take a breather, but we will be quickly back for post-race show, where we will run you down the unofficial finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close off an eventful race. So don't step away too far, as GSRC will be back after these messages. What a race we have seen. Action non-stop, but not chaotic or hectic. It's still the Grand Prix Legends post-race show streaming to your home from the global SimRacing channel via the iRacing eSports network. Mick Clash, on top of all of that chaos, he had a clean sail from flag to flag. He was leading 18.3 seconds in the very end, finishing ahead of Ovid Trengrid, who is himself getting a lot of crucial points in the championship hunt. Bill Tyler, very strong race from him, started in 2nd place, finishes in 3rd. Peter Mika's 4th place for him. He also should be very happy about that one, with Ron Paslowski in 5th. Nicola Cochi, a very successful recovery drive after starting in 19th place. His recovery drive finishes in 6th, with Michael Cook going up 9 positions from 16th to 7th, only being topped by Thomas Torp, who started himself in 19th up to 8th. Also Andrew Eng tried the race for him, 17th to 9th, and the last car on the lead lap is Chris Murakami in 10th place.
Like you said, everyone else not on the lead lap. Fabrizio Maisani, he was 6th place on the last lap, but he's going to wind up 11th. Looked like he stopped his race a little bit early. Kane Lasky, heartbreaking finish for him. He had a late spin. He's going to wind up in 12th. Sebastian Tixier, we saw him battling a lot back here. He's going to wind up 13th, 14th, and 15th. Going to go to Eric Lukel and Hideki Koivisto. After that, you'll find Robert Plumley moving up 6 positions from his starting spot. David Shepard, Brennan Cleveland, who's reporting that he had no incident points in this race. Very impressive. Being a lap down back there. 19th going to go to Andres Bruno, and Ivan Diadio going to finish in P20.
Yeah, lots of cars didn't finish from there on out. Colin Coker is actually the last car to finish with 22nd and back, not finishing this race. We're gonna let you run down the race results here. We have to quickly mention though that my Sani had a little bit of a miscalculation, actually stopped out of the first turn of the last lap. So he, because of that, missed out on a 6th place and only finished in that 11th place. But now we are being joined by Mick Claridge, returning to the series in great style. 18.3 seconds, Mick. First of all, I know you like Donington Park, but it also seems like you like the new tire update the Lotus 49 got.
Hi, Steph. Yeah, well, the new tyre update, we're not even sure it's had an update. I mean, I think it has. A lot of guys don't. You know, there's a thing on the Ford. No, it didn't get announced. Nothing got said on the release notes. So I just realised that, Watkins Glen, funny enough, I did a race Watkins Glen and last week, and I span it on the first lap pretty much, and that's never happened. Not the way it happened to me there. You know, so I started thinking there. You know, I think the tyres changed. So anyway, yeah, I mean, so this race, obviously, you know, I've had a lot of time this week. You know, we can't really do much with all the stuff going on. So I've been stuck indoors pretty much. And I added it up last night. I think I've done over 650 laps this week. It's probably the most I've ever done in any track in the car, you know, so I've had enough practice this week. And yeah, it's a good track for me, and the setup was good straight away. You know, so I didn't really have to change much from when the track opened. So I've sort of been lucky with it as well, you know.
So you basically saying you did 20 races here today? For today, rather.
Do you know what? I mean, you know, Steph, I played drums and stuff, you know, and I've had tendonitis in my hands and I started getting that during the Thursday race, and I thought, God, I've got to calm down now because, you know, my wrists are bloody killing me. I was having to let go of the steering wheel on the back straight and stuff just for the hours that I was putting in. So I didn't really do too much this morning. I did a few laps and just to sort of get, you know, dust the cobwebs off for the morning. And then, yeah, so straight in. But it looked like a pretty hairy race behind me, didn't it? I don't know what's going on. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it did look like one. A little bit of misfortunate situations there, and especially Nicola Kochi with quite the race there to finish up in that 6th place. Before we let you go, first of all, how are you looking forward to next race? Will we see you at Motegi?
Yeah, I'm going to be racing for the rest of the season. Hopefully, I haven't tried. Hopefully this set works for the remaining tracks, you know, because if it does, I'll be really happy with that. Because that's the worst part of it, you know. If you're behind on the setup, you know, you're behind. You just sometimes you never catch up, you know, with yourself. You know, so if you can get a good setup and get lucky with it on Monday, you know, and then all the hard work's done for you. You just need to lap, you know.
Well, Mick, thank you very much for talking to us, and congrats once again on your return victory to the Lotus 49 series.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
That was Mick Claridge, your first place finisher of today. Next up is going to be Kane Lasky talking with Nicholas Mick. There he is. Nick, take it away.
Kane, you had a heck of a race, but we couldn't quite tell there. A late race incident for you. That's got to be a sad way to end this thing after such an exciting race.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. My whole goal at the beginning was to be there at the end with 35 guys, and this is just a really tough combo for the car. And I'm lap 30. There was a few lappers coming down the bottom of the hill, and I must have just distracted myself. I couldn't believe it, but I did a little spin, and then I had to let Peter and Angelica by. And then my mistake, I had a chance to run down Angelica on the last lap, and I blew my engine one lap from the end. And so kind of like a little bit of self-destruction there. But, took 12th, like one lap down. Not bad, and I've been away for a few months, so had pretty decent pace. And, looking forward to the next week.
Yeah, decent return, it sounds like, despite that late race incident. You mentioned next week Motegi. You plan on running there and the rest of the season?
A little bit better of a track for me, and looking forward to it.
And we've had a couple comments in the Lotus 49 series about this new tire or suspected new tire. What are your thoughts on how the car feels right now out there?
Well, I probably wouldn't be the best to comment because I've been away for 3 months with no driving. But to me, the car's exactly the same and tough to drive. I didn't see any differences in the tire model myself. But I don't think, again, Donington, probably not a great track to recognize that. All the turns are linked together and you're pretty busy throughout the lap. So I think it's more about driving smooth and consistent at Donington.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely a busy race today, and you definitely needed to be smooth and consistent, like you said, to wind up with a good finish. And Kane, nice race there, definitely. Sorry to see you fall off the pace at the end, but the 12th place finish, definitely a good return to the series.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
That was Kane Alaski there, the last of our interviews today. Sadly, nobody else did show up in the booth, so with that, GSRC would like to thank once again the iRacing Esports Network for having us on their talent lineup to bring you the greatest shows in iRacing into your home. Make sure to like and subscribe to their channel if you haven't done so yet. On top of that, we'd like to thank everyone on track today for a great show, and especially the Lotus 49 community for contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Right now on your screen, you can see all of the companies that provide us with their great hard and software GSRC uses to deliver you the best possible show. Additional thanks goes to Tunalon, who provides us with her great masterpieces. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. GSRC, please visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also find us on the social media platforms, Twitter with @GSRChannel, Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel, on Instagram at GSRC_RAM. All of the upcoming races for our other series are now sliding across your screen, so check them out and mark them down in your calendar to not miss another second of exciting racing action. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean, Nick, and Dougie, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in as Mick Clarge took away the victory here in Leicestershire. With that said, until next time, Sebas and sayonara, and as always, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.